Hi there, John Tracy here, checking in again with another update on my Nasdaq Futures trading progress. You might remember back in February I posted this video where I told you that I had grown a trading account, get this, from $500, where I started on October 1st of last year, all the way up to $11,000 as of mid-February. So that's a 20x increase in a little over 4 months. And believe me, I know those results sound crazy. Not denying that. In fact, I'll admit, if I saw somebody else posting results like that, probably wouldn't believe it. I'd probably just keep scrolling on by. But believe it or not, those results are real. And today I'm coming back with another update. A few more months have passed by, and I want to share with you how it's been going. And honestly, this is going to sound even more absurd than the last time. In fact, almost didn't even make this video because I know it's going to make me sound like I'm faking it. But I promise I am telling you the truth. And actually, before I share the results with you, let me also give you a heads up that a little later in this video, I do plan to share my exact strategy with you. I want you to see how I accomplished these results. That's really the reason I'm posting this today. Because after that last video I did from February, a lot of you did reach out to me and ask how I did it. And it's not a secret. I'm totally fine, happy to share that with you. So make sure you stick around to the end so that you can see me. I'm going to actually share my screen. I'll walk you right through my exact plan. All right. But first, here's the reality. You ready for this? After almost 5 years of basically sideways trading, mostly losing more than I won, it started to click for me around the end of last year. And the truth is, each month since October 1st of 2025, I've basically doubled my account every single month. Check out these results, okay? On October 1st, I deposited $500 into my trading account, and I have not deposited one more penny since then. $500 is the total amount of capital that I have used for this trading project. By November, I increased that to $1,000. In December, I brought it up to $2,000. I reached $4,000 in January, $8,000 at the beginning of February, $11,000 in the middle of February when I made that last video. Then in March, the account increased to $16K. April was $32,000, and mid-May was $60,000. Guys, think about that. That is an 11,900% increase from $500 to $60K in just 7 months. I told you it'd be absurd, right? I know. And I'm not going to report on June because after having that kind of success, I actually took some time off in June and made the decision to go ahead and pull out a large portion of the profits. My family took a vacation. I was able to give some gifts of generosity to some people in my life as a blessing to them, as well as my church. I also had several house repairs that needed to be taken care of, so I was really thankful I could knock those out. And I was even able to make a new vehicle purchase, which was super fun. So June was a season of using the funds in some really meaningful ways, which is, the whole point of doing this in the first place, right? But after all that, I'm still sitting on $30,000 as I begin the month of July. And my goal from here forward is just to continue doubling the count every single month, hopefully through the rest of this year, which, if that actually happens, it's going to get pretty crazy really fast. But we'll see. Time will tell. All right. Now, again, if you don't believe me, that's fine. Just keep scrolling on by. But if you would like to know how I did this, and more importantly, I guess how you could learn to do it yourself, let's talk about that next. I have 2 things I'd like to share with you today. First, I have created a PDF document that walks through my exact system in detail. So the full strategy, how I build my daily bias, how I find my entries, every single tool I use, and that document is totally free. There's a download link in the description below. So for sure, go down there and grab that because what I'm going to show you next is going to make a whole lot more sense if you study that document really carefully first. And then in a moment, I am going to share my screen with you so that you can see exactly what I do on an actual chart. You're going to hear me use some terms like CRT, which stands for Candle Range Theory, Turtle Soup, Fair Value Gap, probably a few others that might sound kind of weird to you if you don't know what I'm talking about. So again, that's why I want you to go get that PDF. I think that's going to help you at least define some of those terms. It also walks through how to use them so that, when you're watching my screen share here in a minute, you're not going to be lost. And one more thing, before I do the screen share, I'm also totally good with answering your questions. So let me see whatever your thoughts are down in the chat below, and I'll do my best to engage with every single one of you. All right. So just let me know how I can help. But here's what I do. Every single trading day, I go through the exact same process. I first build out a macro analysis so that I can use that to establish a daily bias. And then that's going to drive my exact entry plan for that particular session. So what I want you to see today is I'm going to walk you through exactly how I do that. I'm going to pull up a live chart right before New York Open. I do this at 9 a.m. I want you to see the whole process from start to finish. And so if you're ready, here we go.
All right, I'm starting this on a monthly chart. And the first thing I want to do is mark the CRT high of this large vertical candle here. So I'm going to use the line tool to mark the high. I use different colors for the different time frames. So monthly for me is orange. And I'm going to label it monthly CRT high. And then I'm going to do the same for the low. It's not quite right. Here we go. All right, monthly CRT high, monthly CRT low. Then I'm going to go down to a weekly chart. And it's been kind of choppy over the last few weeks, but you can see we have broken the high twice, the monthly high we broke twice. The biggest candle that we have to work with right now would be this large black candle. So I'm going to mark this. Purple is weekly for me, so I'm going to do purple. And we're going to call this old weekly CRT high because it's not the most recent CRT candle, but it seems to be still significant in the analysis, because you can see how it's responding to it. Let's mark a couple other things. So this is when it originally fell and created the candle. And then in the following week, which was the week of Monday, the 8th of June, the low was taken first. So we have a turtle soup here. Old weekly turtle soup. And I like to make those soup zones really obvious, because when I get down on shorter time frames, those can be reaction areas. So I'm gonna mark that whole zone there. Okay, so look what initially happened. After that turtle soup filled, it fired to the upside, as we would expect. So this was a beautiful CRT reversal. But now look what's happening. We got back to that original high of the CRT candle, and it has not been able to break it. Twice now, well, I mean, counting this week's candle, it's tried, and it's come back inside. So that's significant. And then if we add to that, let's play off of this candle too, just in terms of our charting. We're going to say that this is an additional, more recent weekly CRT high, and more recent weekly CRT low. All right. So we're wanting one side or the other to get taken to signal the next direction, and you can see like we got more to go on this current week. Today is Thursday, the 25th of June. So if this were to close here, this would be a pretty good signal that we souped the bottom again and we're going to fire to the upside. If though by the end of the week we close below here, that's a good signal, especially in combination with having souped the top of this large bearish candle. We've souped it twice on the top. So if this comes and closes below that CRT low, it's a good signal that we're probably going to go down and retest this area again. Too early to know for sure, but definitely something we're going to watch. And I'm not marking this as a soup yet because this weekly candle is still playing out, but it very well could end up that way if it closes above the CRT low of last week's candle. All right, so we're just painting a picture here. We're trying to get an idea of what we think is going to happen today based on these macro time frames. So next we're going to drill down on the daily chart and continue to build this out. All right, so we have this large bearish candle here. I use black for the daily lines. So we're going to call that daily CRT high. Daily CRT low. So what happened yesterday? We did soup the bottom, the low, but we did not close back inside. So candle range theory typically would say that if we close below the low, lower prices are coming. If we close back inside, we got a reversal coming. So we expect really for this to go lower, and that's starting to sound like we're syncing up with what we're already seeing on the higher time frames. Because again, it's like we had these on the weekly, we had a couple soups on the top that seemed to indicate we're probably going down. And now on the daily, we're seeing the potential for the same thing, even though it did pull way back. Currently, it seems likely that by the end of the week, we could be closing down here again. Maybe even by the end of the day. All right. But the other thing to watch is yesterday's high and low. I'm not really going to mark those because, there's big wicks on either side. That's not a clean CRT candle, so I'm not going to mark high and low of yesterday. But I want to keep an eye on that high right there. If it stays below that, that's a good sign that our thesis is probably going to play out that it goes lower. So I don't see much else on the daily chart that I want to mark. Let's go down to 4 hour. Okay, we've got a large bullish candle here on the 4 hour. So I'm going to mark that as CRT high. 4 hour CRT high. Down here. 4 hour CRT low. All right, so what do we see here? We see, hold on, just get that line a little better. All right, we see a small soup there, another soup there, and what looks to be a third soup playing out. So yeah, I'm gonna mark all these. This is gonna be like 4 hour TS1. 4 hour turtle soup 2. 4 hour turtle soup 3. And then I'm going to shade that whole area. And let's make that color match our 4 hour color coding, which is red for me. All right. So what does that do for us? Now we have a weekly, a daily, and a 4 hour chart, all looking like we're due to go down. 4 hour candle, the top has been souped. We expect a reversal. Statistically, the most likely, the most statistical, high probability move would be a retracement of 50% of the CRT candle. So I'm going to go ahead and take my fib chart here, and I'm going to mark the high and the low of that 4-hour CRT candle. Now that we're getting a little more clarity that on multiple time frames it's looking likely that we're going to have a reversal, I want to know where is 50%, because that's the most likely target. And from where price is right now, could I get 100 points? Oh yeah, there's 378 points down to there. All right, so far, that's kind of what we're looking at. Now, on this 4-hour chart, I also want to begin thinking about things like fair value gaps that could also add to our thesis. So do we see any 4-hour fair value gaps in the direction that we're already starting to have a bias toward? And the answer is absolutely. Here is one right here. You see that? Overlapping this area that we're already looking at on the 4-hour chart. So that's just yet another piece of information that seems to be lining up the same way as the rest of our thesis. Pull in some of these lines a little closer just so I can see them as we get here on lower charts. All right, 4-hour. Now, I also want to keep an eye down below. Is there going to be any kind of like fair value gap or some kind of trend line that could cause me to not reach my target? There is a fair value gap, way down here, but that's way beyond 50%. I would never hold that long, not today. So I'm not seeing anything scary there. I do want to zoom out and look at like this overall trend. Probably worth keeping an eye on something like this in the 4-hour. But I don't think that's going to affect the setup that I'm looking at, because again, I would have no problem getting, that we have 3 touches there. So that's a good trend line to keep in mind, like for future, touch here, touch there, touch there. But like for today's thesis, assuming I'm right that it's going to go down, we would easily reach, we're going to get to 100 points way up in this area, way before we would reach the 50% and nowhere near that trend line. So we're going to be fine. All right, down to the 1-hour chart. Trying to just continue to paint as clear of a picture as we can and get as many confirmations of the same macro bias. What's going on the hourly? Well, we've got another large CRT candle here that's looking very similar to the 4-hour. I think we had news this morning at 8:30 that created this candle. All right, so blue is my hourly color. This is going to be 1-hour CRT high. I'm sorry, that was the low. I'll fix that in a minute. Here's the high. So let's go back and call this the low. And have we souped that? Yes, we did. It actually closed above it, but it immediately came back in. Another soup, close above it, but right now we're currently trying to close back in. And this hourly area is corresponding with the 4-hour area we previously drew. So something we want to watch on this hourly chart is we really want it to stay below the hourly high. As long as that happens, it's looking likely that it still aligns with the rest of our thesis, right? So I'm going to put an additional hourly box here. Blue. All right, so that's, and we'll put the TS line up here too. 1 hour turtle soup. Okay. So everything so far is we think this is going down. Multiple time frames are telling us that, plus we have the fair value gap that we're fighting with right now. Seems likely that a reversal is going to happen. Will it retrace that whole area? Maybe, maybe not, but statistically it'll probably get to 50%, and I'm going to be in and out way before that. Okay, that's the hourly. You know, something else I do want to mark here because of this large hourly candle. So we do have a large hourly fair value gap right here. What does that change for us? Can I still get my 100 points? Because that's way before the 50% now. So if I were to get in this area, yeah, again, there's what, like almost 200 points available in this space. This seems to be a likely retracement. Again, probably to 50%, but even if it reacted off of this fair value gap here, I could still easily get my 100 points and get out before there's a risk of a bounce. All right, so I'm still liking this for a short at open. All right, that was 1 hour. Let's go down to 15 minutes. All right, I need to pull over some of my lines so I can see them a little better. All right. On the 15-minute chart, I'm looking at smaller trend details that could matter. For example, probably something like this. I use green for 15-minute markings. So you had that trend line that broke, and then you have a parallel channel then being created. Looks like here, and probably here. All right, so I want to keep an eye on that. I don't see much else on the 15-minute side that I care about at this moment. And then the last piece of information for me are the turtle body soups. So I do those on the 5-minute chart. Where is the highest candle that never broke? All right, so this one I believe is going to be it. Right here. Yeah, okay, well, actually that one did break right there, it closed above. So now we're looking at that as the turtle body soup. All right, so an ideal entry for me would be at open, it shoots up to this area, I enter here and I short it for 100 points. We've got a minute till open, and so I'm gonna focus on my entry, and I'll report back later and we'll see how this thing turned out.
Well, there you have it. And on that particular day, I want to show you what happened in the first 5 minutes of the New York session. Check this out. My 100-point profit target was hit right away. I mean, what a beautiful trade that was. And that's the same kind of thing I'm experiencing most days. Do I ever lose? Of course. But I'm telling you, I win a whole lot more than I lose. So if you're struggling, maybe you should give my plan a try, because I also struggled a whole lot as a trader for like 5 years. I tried all different strategies, and truthfully, I had some degree of success with all of them, but not nearly enough in any of them to make me profitable overall. But this past year has been like so different, guys. And if I can help you get to the same place that I'm finally at, totally happy to help you do that. All right. So before I wrap it up, let me just say again, happy to engage with your questions. I'd love to see them. Drop them in the comments, and I'll get back with you as soon as I can. And of course, if you have not yet grabbed that PDF document where my whole strategy is laid out, click the link down there in the comments, download that, study it, and let me know how I can help you. All right, thanks for watching. I look forward to reporting back again in the near future, hopefully with even better results as this journey continues.